So, guys, as promised, I'm bringing you another superstar onto the show because I'm going to be discussing the 4 day series. And, it's been quite an exciting opening week, actually, even though there were quite a few draws. But there's been one team that stood out from the rest. We had obviously someone from the Knights on yesterday. You obviously tuned in with Patrick Kruger. But today we've got the only team that has won all their matches so far in the tournament so far. So a lot of people would say that this is the best team in the 4 day series right now, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. I really want to maybe wait a little bit for them to take it forward and obviously get some momentum going before I start saying that. But today I've got someone that I consider a real legend of the game in South African cricket. Malusi Siboto is going to be joining me today on the show. So I think this is an excellent opportunity for us to just learn from him. And he's played at so many different franchises in so many different provinces, so many different formats. He's basically dominated all of those formats actually, and really has quite an impressive career. And there's one particular thing that stood out to me so far from his career is his control, the ability to be consistent and his control with the ball specifically. He did put in a cheeky knock against in the opening 4 day series, so we're going to speak about that as well. But with the ball, excellent. There's not a lot of bad things that I can say about this man. So let's get straight into this particular episode. Before we get going, you guys, you know what you have to do. You have to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, the monthly magazine, every single month, of course, 100% free, including this World Cup edition. You can go to the eye on the top right of the screen, or you can go to the description and click on that. And all issues are free, straight to your inbox every single month. And it's perfect for mobile and tablets and all of those type of things. So don't worry, it's actually very, very good for that. And if you have that, then it doesn't need too much data either. So you don't have to worry about that too. If you're new to this channel, of course, what you need to do is subscribe to the channel. You need to click that notification bell for all future videos as well. But without further ado, let's get straight into today's interview. Smash the like button, comment, and share with all your friends and family. Let's get straight into this. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Daily Show. I'm your host, Khalid Maidam. Today, I'm joined by Malusi Siboto, and I'm really excited about this one because I've been trying to get you on the channel for quite some time. I've been trying to hunt your number. I didn't know if I should ask a player or what I should do. I normally go through the channels, but I did it so on this occasion. But thank you a lot for accepting this interview and joining me on this show. So, Malusi, can you just start? Because I like to do this when my first time guests come on the show. I like to get some
Yeah,
insight into their background, of course, and give the fans that haven't had an opportunity to get to know you to just get a brief overview of your career so far. Maybe you can give me how it started and what are some of your hurdles early on in your cricket career.
yeah. Yeah. How's it, man? Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. But as for me, I was born in Cape Town in Langa. That's where I learned my cricket and hockey. And from there, I got a bursary to go to One Boys. And from One Boys, I went to Potchefstroom in Northwest. And I know that's kind of a strange move. So from there, I obviously went to Northwest with a hockey bursary. I think when I was there, I didn't play cricket for like 7 months. And I think they needed a player for this USA week, this university week, and that's when I got into cricket again. It turns out I was the only player that has been to the Under-19 World Cup in the university at the time, and then from there I fell in love with cricket again. I started in the academy, and from the academy I went into the amateur team, which was the Dragons. Still the Dragons, I think now. But I think the most difficult thing that I went through for me was just not knowing how to bowl. Like I think people think it's easy to just bowl, like not knowing how to work out a batter. I mean, when you're young, you just think um, being a good bowler is about taking wickets, but it's not. And I think sometimes you have to find the right lengths, and you have to earn the right to bowl an in swinger or a bouncer. So I had to learn those things early. So I would give myself 18 balls, sometimes 24 balls to try stuff, and that's something that I've carried through with all my career. And as soon as I mastered that, and I was able to adjust to any kind of wicket we were bowling in, and that's what I apply even now. And I think the where I had to learn the hardest way was I played my second game for the night against the Titans. I think I was Martin van Jasveld, Faf and Heineken. I think I bowled when I think Johan van der Vaart, Quinton Friend, McLaren were bowling, and the scoreboard was like 20 overs gone, and it was 20 runs. And then I came in and I bowled 4 overs for like 55 runs. And you're thinking, cheapers, I thought I knew what I was doing. I'm actually so far behind. And then that helped me sort of look at my game and see what areas I needed to work on. And I think the first area that I needed to understand was that I'm not a 150 bowler. I'm not somebody that's going to run in and bowl you 150s consistently or bowl you 140s. I needed to accept that at first. And as soon as I accepted that, it made me realize that how much skills I had. And I knew that I was effective than a guy that was bowling 140s because I was consistent and I was skidding onto the wicket. So as soon as I mastered that, and then I knew I had a sharp bouncer to protect my areas for longer, it was easier for me to just stick to that. And I accepted where I was going to get it wrong, and I just found a way not to be hard on myself.
I actually was going to ask you that because a lot of young fast bowlers are quick when they're younger, and then they realize when they come to 4-day cricket or semi-pro cricket that they not actually as fast as they were when they were at school.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
try to clock it up, and they maybe
yeah,
there are a couple of guys that are maybe like, for example, if I look at some young fast bowlers that I've seen, like for example Ashok Kluti, when I saw him when he was younger, he was at the Kyle week. He was so quick, people couldn't read him. The batters couldn't read him at all in the middle of the park. But now that he's come to professional cricket, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be bowling the same speed as him,
yeah,
and they may be a lot more used to 140s, 130s when you
yeah.
go up. So I was actually wanted to ask you that because was there a specific coach that maybe gave you tips on how to sustain your bowling quality without changing way too much, or did they realize, okay, you don't have pace or I don't have pace, or did you realize that and
Yeah.
then say I need to add a certain thing? Was there a certain coach that helped you with that, or was it just intrinsic in you?
Um, uh, yeah, I think when I was at Northwest, I had Thando Bula, Jimmy Hamadi, who just told me my strengths, and they kept on telling me that every day. So that kind of like drew into my head, and I tried to work onto that. And when I moved to the nights, Audrey Swanepoel just kind of like pulled me aside and said, "This is how we're gonna win the game. If you bowl like this, because you're a skitty guy and you knew where the guys will try and take you on, and if you just stick to your consistency and knowing that your strength is a ball that skids into fourth stump or off stump, you'll take a lot of wickets." And that's what I applied, and I still do it now. And I think to what you're saying, kids become really good at school, and the next step is different. And you find like I'm not saying it's a wrong thing. Like a lot of the kids are worshipped at school. Everybody talks about them. They say all these good things, but when you come to the next level, now you meet somebody that's done the same thing as you, and now you don't get worshipped as much. And now you have to adjust to this change where nobody talks about you as much as they did at school, or other guys are doing it far better than you. And I think and i think the change is sort of like, it's scary. You feel like all alone, you feel like you got to take the challenges alone. But whereas it should be a matter of, okay, I was good at school, and everybody spoke about me. But now let me take the punches that come with this new change, and the punches are
Mm.
I need to work harder on a certain skill and master the skill because I've got 3 or 4 guys that do it better than I do. So instead of trying to shine or anything, let me just try and learn as much as I can. And I guess, I mean, it's sports is an ego thing. It's a
Yeah.
it's a big ego to just understand. Okay, I'm not where I thought I was, but let me use this time to learn.
Mm. Because I mean, when I look at a guy like Vian Mulder, whose career I've followed quite some time, and he's obviously a teammate of yours as well now. But
Yeah,
when I watched him as a kid, he looked a lot faster because obviously, in comparison to the school guys, he looked a lot faster than a lot of other guys. But we know now, coming through the system now, we've seen him play for the Proteas where there are actual speed guns, and we know he hits that 135 mark and just a little bit below, maybe, or maybe above. Sometimes he doesn't often hit that, or ever. I don't think I've ever seen him hit the 140 mark in his career so far. So obviously he had to adapt. Did I wouldn't say did you influence it, but I would like to ask if he's asked you any advice on that, because I've really seen his career, especially with the ball, take a completely different turn, because I saw him as a batting all-rounder as a kid, batted up the order and he bowled it as well. But now he's become so pivotal with the ball in the Proteas setup. So has he spoken to you, and did you give him any advice? Even a guy like Luto Sapamla as well, he's been excellent recently in the 4-day series.
yeah. I mean, just to start on Milda, I think the only thing we kind of like spoke about is just coming back from an injury, coming back from a back injury. It kind of like stops you to try and really bowl the ball because you just don't want to go back to that rehab process. But I think the things we were talking about, it was just try and focus on hitting that length for longer, and the pace will take care of itself. Because when you focus on a certain target, you find like everything is working together because you're not trying to force. And I think we worked on, we're just teaching each other how to hold the ball in different ways or maybe change the angle. But I wouldn't say like I changed his bowling or anything, but it was just feeding information of each other. And I think for somebody like him at a young age, I remember when he started, he was given the last over and he defended it at 19. I mean, it just shows you how much somebody can handle pressure. But I think as time goes, I think now he's at the phase where he knows what failure is. He knows what's not doing well. And I think it's all up to him now to sort of understand, okay, this is where I am with my game. This is where I need to improve. This is where I need to be consistent. And if he can work that out, then I think he will be one of the best all-rounders in the country.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to move on to your career as well, of course, because I want to know more about it. But I want to
Yeah,
talk about that performance, the first two opening performances. I mean, the bowling attack has just been exceptional. I mean, the Warriors have quite a talented batting lineup, and you guys destroyed them. What impressed you the most so far with when Luto's now moved over from the Warriors and coming over to the Lions
yeah,
now
yeah.
for 2 seasons now? What's impressed you the most about him? And you yourself, I mean, you bowled excellently against Northwest in the first game, and we're going to talk about that cheeky 52 a little later. But let's first talk about the bowling, the bowling side of things. What's impressed you the most about your bowling lineup? I mean, there's so much talent.
I mean, if you look at our team, we've got 3 guys that's played over 100 games. So it makes life easy for you as a bowler. If I'm struggling, I can always talk to Sisana Magala or Duan Olafir. We just know we understand each other for a long time now. Where I just feel that if you, for a guy like Luto, if he's struggling, I think he saw against Northwest. I mean, he was struggling. We kind of like came in just before lunch and we said, look, you're not alone. We're doing this as a team. Next week it might be me, but just understand your role right now is just to take control. If you're getting hits, make sure you're getting hit on the one side. And what stood out the most for me was how just Duan Olafri just came in and he just wanted to bowl the whole day. And this is somebody that's been playing in the UK, and he
Yeah,
just wanted to bowl. And how myself, Makala, and Luto was just feeding off that, and we were able to
perfect
just
blend.
just try and communicate for long periods. No one is trying to be bigger than the other one. We're just finding ways to work together. And I mean, it worked off for Luto this past week and CC, and they will tell you right now, and they didn't take the fivers alone. I mean,
Yeah.
Luto came in struggling, CC struggled, but when we spoke, we're like, listen, it's not going to work straight away, but when it does work, just make the most of it. And I think that's the key to our bowling lineup, is just finding ways to communicate and just adjust for as long as we can. And what stands out for me is just we have three guys that's, like I said, playing 100 games,
Yeah.
and I believe we can take 20 wickets in any wicket, and if we just carry on communicating the way we are and just try and keep it simple for as long as we can.
Can you give me a little bit more insight into like bowling? Because that sounds to me like bowling in pairs, bowling as a unit, feeding off each other, those type of things. Can you give me a little
Yeah.
bit more insight into that,
Okay,
especially for younger guys maybe listening to the show?
yeah, one prime example is Magala, for instance. He's somebody that's quick and his kids, but he's playing the controlling part, and somebody that bowls at his pace and is able to play control, that tells you that like 100 games
Yeah.
is played, he understands his role, he understands what he needs to do, and it's amazing for him to just not complain about it and not make any fuss, and understand it's not about me, it's about the team. Or and on another, like this past week, and Duan Olafri saw, okay, like I'm putting a lot of pressure, but I'm gonna bowl longer spell to try and control for the team, so CC can attack on the other side. And I think sometimes when you control, it doesn't mean that you're not going to take wickets. And I don't like when people say you are a container of the team. Like young guys, when you say they're containing, the first thing they think of, I've got to bowl maidens. Yes, you got to bowl maidens, but that doesn't mean that you can't take wickets. Sometimes containing is me bowling straight a line and making the guys play. But it doesn't mean I can't take wickets as a container. And so for me, when you speak about control, control sometimes it's just working out. All right, this guy has got an upright stance. That means that I can't bowl back of the length or short consistently. I've got to come as full as I can and maybe bowl a surprise bouncer every now and again because it's got an upright. And the guy that's really short, like a Temba or Jonty or Dominic Hendricks, his lines are not going to be the same as a guy that's taller than him, or Yaneman Malan. They're not going to be the same lines. So if I'm bowling to Dom, I've got to bowl a touch fuller than I'm bowling to Malan. And if I'm bowling to Dom, that means that maybe I must come around the wicket. Well, sorry, Dom, I'm not exposing you here, but
Exposing
um,
you.
but if I'm bowling to a Milan, that means maybe I've got to come wide of the crease and make him come to the balls, because he's somebody that shuffles across, and I don't think he's really sure about his off stump. But that means that maybe the ball that comes back to him is a dangerous ball because it's a bit upright. So it's just those little details. If you look at a guy like Temba's got a good technique, so that means you can't try and get him out. You got to be patient for longer. Let him make the mistake. So it's those little details that you got to understand, and those are the things that we communicate as guys who played over 100 games. We understand those little details. I mean, if you look at Warriors, they've got a good batting lineup. They're all batting on off stump, but then they're caught behind. What does that tell you? It's just a team that likes to feel. They don't want to leave the balls for long. So you just got to understand. Like for me right now, I'm at the point where if somebody's standing on middle stump or off stump, I already know what lines to bowl. If you're standing on middle stump, that means I got to be patient. That means you can hit the ball both sides of the field. And if you're standing on off stump, that means you're not sure about your lines. So the only way I can try and protect that is ball bounces for longer, so they can surprise you with the fuller ball because you don't know where your off stump is. And obviously that's a communication we have as bowlers in the team, and it's just for just playing with the guys that are experienced around me that forced me to learn quicker and understand, okay, these are the conditions. And for me, I don't believe there's there's a foot stump or foot stump anymore. I feel like I've got to hit the wicket in the face for long and let the guys make a mistake. I mean, it's 4-day cricket. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not going to take wickets in the first session. I might take wickets in the last session because I'm fit and strong. So I'm able to bowl the whole day. And that's my strength. Whereas a guy like Duan or Sisi, their strength could be them taking wickets in the second session when the ball is older and it's moving a bit more. So it's just those little details and then understanding what your strength is. And another thing is just, I mean, if you saw I bowled 5 overs and I didn't even go
Yeah.
for a run. And because I could see the situation says for me is to control and let CC attack because he's taking wickets on the other hand. Just because I'm not taking wickets, it doesn't mean that I'm not bowling well. So it's just understanding where you are and communicate with the other bowlers.
Yeah, that's excellent insight. I want to ask you this because it makes sense into what you just spoke, what you just told me now, as well as to the current World Cup that's happening at the moment as well. Because you listen to the commentators, you listen to what they say, of course, and they have their own analysis of how bowlers are
Yeah,
bowling. And when it comes to you, I've spoken to some other fast bowlers, and they say they change a lot when they move from format to format. In this particular T20 format, in the World Cup, they said guys like Josh Hazelwood, for example, they said he was just bowling test lengths basically, and getting a lot of success in T20 cricket, bowling those type of lengths on these particular
yeah.
wickets. Now, my question to you is, with your style, because you've been excellent in T20 cricket as well, you've managed to adapt your game excellently. Was it a lot of adapting, or do you kind of keep the same sort of momentum going into different formats?
Yeah, I think with the T20, you gotta be smart. Like, you can't fight fire with fire. So for me, if I'm coming in the last over of the power play or in the middle period, I've got to work out. Okay, I'm bowling to a Milan that's in, and to Carl Verena that's not in. Because I'm not a guy that's quick and tall as Josh Hazelwood, that means that I've got to make sure I bowl less to Milan and bowl more to Verena because he's just got in the crease. And if that's the case, if I'm taking 2 dot balls from Milan, I've got to find a way of getting him off strike. Because if I don't, he's going to hurt me. And that's a smart way I try and approach a T20. And sometimes the key for me is if I can bowl 4 overs for 25 runs or 30 runs, I'm happy I've done the job. Because I could bowl 4 overs for 45 runs and take four wickets. That is great too, but that's not me. For me, I want to be challenging myself all the time by just thinking and always try and be ahead of the situation that I'm playing. So the first thing I do, I'm coming in the power play. If I can get just 2 dot balls in that over, I'm happy. I don't care if the over goes for 20 or whatever. If I got 2 dot balls, it means I've done my job because I know I get 2 dot balls, I'm getting the guy or strike. The other guy is going to try and take me on. It's either he's become successful or I get wickets. And that's the approach you got to have. For somebody that's not quick, yeah, that's not quick. I think the key is not try to bowl too many slower balls too early because when you come back in the middle period, you become too predictable. And it's just the key to understand the guy that's in and bowl less to him and bowl to the guy that's not in the wicket. And that's the only way I win. That's the only way I've been successful. And obviously work out on a few variations of the wicket and decide where you want to get hit. Well, I mean, if you look at George Hazelwood, I mean, how many times did he get hit? Not much because he kept it simple. He trusts his pace. Whereas for me, I can't be the guy that hits that line for 5 balls straight because eventually I'm going to get hurt because I'm not a 140 bowler. But I can make it work. If you look at Dwayne Bravo is going to bowl you. If he gets 2 dot balls, he gets you off strike. He keeps it. He bowls it wider for as long as he can. Eventually, you're going to get frustrated and try and hit him. That's when he gets wickets. So it's just understanding. It's just understanding and accepting that, okay, I'm not somebody that bowls quick, or I'm somebody that bowls quick. I'm going to trust my back of the length for longer. Let them hit me from there. Whatever happens, happens from there.
The game has also evolved a lot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
with regards to with statistics and all of these type of things. You got video analysts. You guys have an excellent video analyst now, former Protea video analyst as well, Prasanna P Dog, as he's called as well. Are you a type of cricketer that prefers to see a batter in person and watch him over a couple of games, or are you utilizing a lot of video and analysis and watching a lot of games on TV and be able to pick out how a batsman bats, etc., and picking out his weaknesses?
Uh, Talking about P Dog, I want to give credit to him. I actually scored that 50 because of him. Um, so I was batting one day. He's like, the reason I'm falling away is because my hands are behind me, and he just like, put your hands out and play the ball from there. And my batting just changed completely from there. And how he just gave me the information and how it just made me alert of those things and see where my hands are going and where my feet are. And right now I feel like I can hit the ball anywhere I want. And just a change of my hands and just trying to keep it simple. And that's what he was working on with me. And I believe my game is different now because of that. I mean,
That's
having
ex-
an analysis like that, it's amazing because he just watches you twice and he already knows what you're doing wrong. Um, I mean, I would have him in my team anytime.
That's excellent. Okay, I'm just going to get to the two questions that have been asked some of the questions that have been asked over here. Who are the players in the Lions do you think are knocking on the Proteas door?
Oh my word. Um, um, what format?
Let's go. Let's say 4 day cricket for now. Just seeing that we're in the middle of the
Um,
4 day season.
I'm going to put myself there also because I'm right here. I think my stats say it all. I think I'm fit. I think I'm strong. I think I'm at the stage where I understand my game, and like I said, having P Dog around me has kind of like opened a lot of doors of how far I am in playing international cricket, especially Test cricket. Um, Not to blow my horn or anything, but I'll put myself out there. I think Dominic Hendricks has done very well, and he's proven year in and year out that he deserves a chance also. Duan Olafuri is back. I don't know how the selectors will see that, but I think he's knocking at the doors too. I mean, Ryan Rickelton is also there. Sisanda Magala is there. Um, yeah, I think those are the guys at the moment that deserve a chance,
Yeah.
and and see what happens from there. And I think we have good teams and good bowlers all around the country, but you got to give a chance to the guys that are doing well, and
Yeah.
that's what I believe we can grow as a bowling attack in the country, and we all got different uh, dimensions and aspects on how to execute our skills, and I think those guys deserve a chance.
Mhm. We have another one over here, Mr. Siboto. Who do you think has the potential as a young fast bowler who can make it into the national squad immediately? Maybe you can either change it up. You can either. I'm sorry that I'm changing your question over here,
Yeah,
but
that's a
I'm
fair
just trying to
question.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have to look after Janssen from the Warriors. I think there's a lot of potential there, and it's somebody that's just got to be managed very well. Especially as a left armer, we have to look after that and make sure he's strong and is somebody that can last the whole season. Um, Looking at yeah, I think at the moment Marco Janssen has proven that, and I think there gone are the days where guys had to earn their stripes when you perform for 5 seasons. Nowadays, it's like players get earmarked and all of a sudden they're in the squad. But the
Yeah.
problem there is when the guy is not doing well, it's difficult to come back because you don't have a reference that you work with. I mean, if you look at a guy like Dean Alga, Reza Hendricks, Temba Bavuma, Rassi, they've had to dominate for 5 years to be there. And if Racing struggle right now, he knows how to get out of it. If you look at Dean scores 100 every test match. If he struggles for 3 games, he knows how to come back. He knows how to come back and score you 100. I mean, gone are the days where guys have to work really hard for 5 seasons to get a call up, and the step is not far when you're going through that route. I mean, you look at Faf had to wait 6 years to get a chance, and look at how well he's done. And I think we have to still follow that process where not go, oh, I like this guy, he's got a potential, give him a go. But when he doesn't do well, what is he going to fall back into? And I think guys
Yeah.
have to play full seasons to understand who they are as players, and not look all around them when it's not going their way. I
I
think
feel
that's
like we try
how I,
to, yeah, I feel like we try to rush people into the team too quickly. Fans of we so fickle. We're like, we,
yeah, I mean,
I
like,
mean,
I'm looking at that question now. You're saying immediately, like, hold on, like, there's Sisanda Magala that's been doing well. Duan is back now. Um, like I said, I'm going to throw myself there also. I mean, there's good guys who are younger than me. Um, it depends how you wanna grow our structure and keep our cricket healthy. You can't just earmark to everyone, and there's gotta be a process of, okay, this guy has got a potential. We'll travel with him. We'll work with him. Fair enough, but don't just rush him in the team and it's not working out, and you just leave him aside. I mean, you look at a guy like Hamza. I mean,
yeah.
Hamza was your favorite for a long time, and Hamza did well. He didn't do well for 4 games, and we didn't hear about Hamza for a long time. And he had to find a way to get himself back, and he's working slowly into that. And I think we got to look after those things.
Do you think that the younger players, obviously, me personally, do you think they need obviously a lot more time to play international cricket? Because I feel that the highest level you can only really learn the in the middle when you're playing against the best players. You're going. I mean, not everybody's just going to face Mitchell Stark and all of these guys and just be able to smack them out the park immediately. They're going to need to have a couple of test matches. Do you think that we tend to switch or too quickly in the national setup?
In our system,
Yeah.
uh, that's a tough one because when you've done well as a player, you want to be recognized. You want to put your name out there, which is fair. And I think that's why you have SAA to prove yourself there.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I've I've seen it for myself. A player scores 300s, and he feels like he should be playing for the Proteas. But then it's like you don't even know yourself as a batter. But you think because I'm an opener, I've scored 300s, and Dean has struggled for 2 games now. I'm gonna take Dean's spot, but Dean has had to earn his stripes. Dean had to dominate for 5 years. There's no chance you think you're going to take Dean's spot because he knows when he's struggling, he knows how to bring himself up. Like I said, he's got a reference. Now, you can't score 300s and think you're ready to play international cricket where you don't even know yourself as a player. And I think one of the things we need to work hard on as players is being able to control your emotions when it's not going your way, being able to control your base and understand your base. You stick to your base when it's not going well, because I'll tell you now, if you're not good enough as an international players, the commentators are not shy to say that. Twitter is not scared to say that too. And you got to be
Yes.
able to find a way to handle that also. So you can't just always try and rush to play for Proteas if you haven't done the small things by being able to control your emotions and being able to block all these bad things are said about you. And I think if you can be able to work hard on that before you get a call up, you'll be able to take on any challenge.
Malusi, this was an eye-opening interview, and I really enjoyed it. I think we can talk for hours about cricket, and I would love to bring you on on again. Maybe you can come to one of our Sunday podcasts that's more laid back, where we just chat about cricket openly.
Yeah,
I
no,
would
no,
love
no
to bring
worries,
you on
bro.
with a panel as well, where guys can ask you questions. That would be excellent. But I'm going to be in contact with you definitely.
No, no
To the
problem.
guys out there, thanks a lot for watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our magazine. Click that on the top right of the screen or in the description. It's 100% free. And this channel, click the notification bell. Share this also with all your friends and family and smash the like button. I'm going to ask Malusi also to share this with all his friends and family when I put it up as well. It will
Yeah,
really
yeah.
help the channel a lot. Thanks a lot, everybody. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another exclusive interview and a daily show. Take care, everybody.
Yeah.